What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 17 for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. But I must thank you guys for the support all season long on this career mode, and we're coming towards the end now of season 5, and we're soon moving into season 6, but obviously we've still got a couple more races left to go. But if you guys did miss the last race in Japan, then I thoroughly urge you to go check that one out. It was an absolute barnstorm of a race, and there was drama on every single lap. There was like 2 safety cars up and down the field, different strategies. It was absolutely crazy with a really explosive ending. So I do really urge you to go watch that one before you come back to this episode. But speaking of this race, as you just saw on screen, we got through the practice programs on Friday and had a flawless session, pretty much getting purple on most scores. We did have a bit of struggle with the qualified performance test though. I really couldn't get the car when it really mattered on the pace though. So that was a little bit concerning that we couldn't really find some pace in the car when it comes to the actual qualifying pace. But hopefully we can fix that in this session and try and find something from somewhere. But in Q1, we opted for the slower super soft compound tyres and managed to get through the Q2 on those. And the reason I've gone for a different strategy this time and actually gone for the ultras in Q2 is because I don't think I'm going to get through to Q3 on super softs, so I'm going to have to dip into the ultra softs to try and make it work. So we've gone to the purple ultra soft compound tyres, and we've gone for our best run in the session. And to be fair, the lap was pretty good. I hooked up a pretty good lap, and we are going to go P4 at the time of crossing the line, about 7/10 off the pace. But eventually we will drop down to P9, and myself and Massa just scraping through there in the lower half of the top 10. But a big gap you can see compared to the cars around us. So myself and Massa sort of in a league of our own around here, and not really, you know, fighting anyone for a raw pace. But in Q3, we do set a banker lap, and it wasn't particularly great, a bit of a scruffy lap to be honest, especially the final sector. And I'm hoping I can go out and improve on that lap in this second run. So here we go straight away into turn 1, braking very hard at the 100-meter ball down to 3rd gear, then a short shift into 4th to maximise the traction out the corner, and then just going flat out through turn 2. And now we need to really have a good car underneath you here to have full confidence to really blast the car through this sort of S section and really bring the nose in nicely. I've got a little bit of oversteer and the rear end's kicking out of my car, but we're purple in the first sector here, so it's a good start to the lap as we now go through this uphill sort of chicane. And I just lose the back end a little bit. I'm going to go straight into the wall and lose my front wing, and I just got caught on the curb and brought power on a little bit too early, and unfortunately it's going to ruin my final run of the session. So therefore my first lap is going to have to do, and my first attempt was okay, nothing spectacular, but it's only good enough for P9. So me and Massa bring up the rear of the top 10, with Sebastian Vettel taking pole for Ferrari, with Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place, with Kimi Raikkonen in close following, with Sergio Perez on the 2nd row. But you can see the gap difference there. Me and Massa were, you know, an absolute mile apart, and it would have taken a miracle for me to really get a perfect lap to even maybe beat Verstappen. So realistically speaking, I'm not too disappointed that we crashed out, because I couldn't have realistically seen an improvement on P9 anyway. So overall, a pretty good qualifying session nonetheless. But we are now going to move into Sunday for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Okay, so here we are then for race day at COTA, and hopefully we can have a good race here today. I'm not particularly excited over how further up the grid we can go, because I don't think the car has a lot of performance in it. I think, you know, realistically speaking, this is the best we can do. I think P9, there's a big performance gap between us and the next car, which is obviously Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bulls. But even they're like a good 8 tenths ahead of us to a second. So I'm really going to have to try and dig in deep to there and try and pull something out the bag if you want to try and do anything better than P9. But overall, I'm looking forward to this race, though. It's going to be a real challenge, and I do enjoy challenges. And I don't think we'll be putting off a miracle like in the last race anytime soon. But if we could do anything like that, then I'd be very thankful for it. But in terms of the race strategy for today, we are going to go for a 2-stop, starting on the ultra softs that we qualified in on Q2, and then also moving over to 2 stints on the super soft compound tyres. So hopefully we can have a good race. There is no rain expected. Also, we are bang on target for fuel, so hopefully it will work out for us and we can have a good race overall. So with that being said, we're now going to jump into the race for round number 17 for the USA Grand Prix. Right, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights for the USA Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go here, and it's a pretty poor start off the line. A little bit of a wheel spin going on there, but we have got the traction down, and we've got past Daniel Ricciardo. As we go to turn 1 here, we've got to be careful not to hit the force Indias up the inside of Max Verstappen. We're 4 wide at the minute, I think, and we're having all sorts of contact with cars around us, and we've just made the move work and we're up into 7th place. So great start so far, getting past both of the Red Bull cars. So we're now currently sitting behind the Force Indias. I don't know how much more we can do. Mercedes is taking the lead. I think it's Lewis Hamilton who's taking the lead of this race, and Raikkonen is in P2 with Vettel in P3. But so far we are in P7. It's been a very good start to this race, but let's see what our pace is like on race day, because on race day we can always find a little bit more pace compared to qualifying. So, you know, it's a long race, it's 28 laps, and it doesn't come down to just 1 lap of pace. So hopefully we can make something happen. I'm not sure how our strategy will fare compared to those around us. I don't know what other guys will be on, but hopefully ours will be pretty good and we can try and do something with it. So let's try and set into this race a little bit now, and try and set some good lap times, and crucially try to stick with this front pack as long as possible, which is going to be the key, I think, to really having a good race here today. Oh, okay. Bottas just stirring up Perez there. I just wasn't expecting that, but I've managed to get a bit of a run on the Mexican, but he's just held it on the inside. But Ocon and Bottas will have a little bit of a scrap there, and that allowed me to really get close to Perez, but nothing really came from it. So once again, we're back down to P7, but so far, like I said, these little battles and things going on is what's going to help us this race. And Perez goes a little bit shallow into the final corner here. I don't think I've got the straight line speed to really compete with him. I'm running pretty, you know, semi-low aero 6.6, but I don't think I've got enough to really challenge the Force India in overall straight line, as the Force India is the fastest car in the straights after the throws. But Perez does lock up a bit there, so we are still putting the pressure on a little bit, and this is good so far. Very good way to start off the race, but the question is, can we keep up in the long haul? Oh, safety car deployed, and Stoffel Van Dorn out of the USA Grand Prix as Perez just made a move on Bottas. But yeah, so far pace is very, very as I expected, not spectacular. But I think I'm going to come in this lap and try and change my strategy. I think I might go onto the yellow wall soft compound tyres and see how far I can go into this race on that compound. Right, so we're going to come into the pit lane here, and I'm going to come in for the yellow wall soft compound tyres. I feel like I'm doing a different strategy to those around me, so we're going to go for a bit of a left field sort of, you know, different strategy call and different move. But it's going to be very, very busy in the pit lane. You know, cars pitting in all over the place, and this might be a controversial strategy, but you know, we're going to try it. We're really getting held up here, though. This is not good. We've been here for a solid 5 seconds. We are now away, though, and Massa's going to actually go into my pit box. So Massa getting really held up there in that. But either way, we are going to rejoin here in this little train of cars down in P15. But like I said, on the soft compound tyres, all we've got to do now is, on this strategy, is simply do our race. So I want to see how deep I can go into the race on these tyres. And I don't think going to the end is a possibility. I think the tyres will go. However, this might open up the opportunity for us to go back onto the Ultra Softs in the final stint. So that's probably going to be a very welcome change for us. So that is something, as I cut the corner, an absolute treat. I've got no fresh Ultras left, to be fair, so something to keep in mind. But there should be 2 more either way. But I'll just leave it on the Super Softs for now. But like I said, our strategy options are very open right now. So hopefully we can make it work by going for this bit of a different strategy, and maybe have a very strong final stint. Also, I'm going to be saving fuel, so we'll have a nice bit of reserve fuel saved up. But I'm looking forward to this. Now, this might open up a bit of a different race for us. Okay, so the restart is about to get underway, so we're going to prepare ourselves, just trying to save a last bit of fuel. But it's going to be interesting, this race. Now, I'm sort of looking forward to it, but then again, I don't have fresh Ultras, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure I'll make something work. But like I said, this safety car has blown the strategy in the race wide open, and it's anyone's game now in terms of strategy. So let's try and have a good race and make something special happen. So let's delve straight into the restart and try and have a good race. Here we go, green flag. We're back underway. I know some of those guys on the Ultras haven't pit yet, so they'll be coming in soon. But we're going to have to get through slow traffic, so that's going to buy us some extra time on these tyres. And I don't have to worry too much about the overall pace, as the faster guys do navigate the traffic. But here we go, straight away. Bottas making a move on Max Verstappen into turn 1 here, and Verstappen's very slow through there, so I wonder if he's got an issue. He's on a fresh set of Ultras, so he should be pretty quick, as will Bottas. But we've got a few salvos up the road as well, so we've got to sort of tactically pull apart all these AI and try and make the moves here. Okay, I've got Sergio Perez on my case on the super soft compound tyres here, trying to make the move on me up the inside, and Verstappen's braking very early on the ultra soft. I wonder if he's got an issue, but either way, Perez makes the move, which I'm not going to fight him too hard because, like I said, I'm doing a bit of a different race here, so I don't really want to use my tyres up that badly, and also I don't want to damage my car because that's not going to help me out. So we've just got to do our thing and let the move sort of happen naturally. So let's try and have a nice easy race here and hopefully it'll work out for us. Okay, into the hairpin, we're going to opt for the outside line on Perez here. I'm not trying to overtake him, but he's being slowed down by the Sauber, and it's just giving me a chance to actually get back past him. But now I've got Hulkenberg for company in the Renault, so this is not good. We're going to dip into the rich mix just to try and keep him behind me, so I don't want to really waste too much time battling him. We've got Verstappen going up the inside of Marcus Ericsson on the brakes here. Perez a little bit hot on the brakes himself, and we were sort of forced to the outside line here as Perez holds the inside, a little like up on the right front, but we can't lose contact with the front pack while they're battling with traffic, so me and Perez need to make this move now. Okay, Perez going for the move on Marcus Ericsson here, so this is going to be my chance to strike. As we go up the inside, Ericsson and Perez a little bit slow out the corner, and Ericsson is still keeping his nose in there, but Perez just flies around the outside. We're going to get very close to Marcus Ericsson here, but just not close enough to really make the move, and Ericsson's going to just stay ahead for a little while. I'm going to try and go for the outside. Do we have the downforce in this Williams car? It'll be the inside for the next corner. I'm going to squirt the throttle on, and there we go. We've just got our nose in front of the Sauber driver, and DRS is now enabled. We've got a yellow flag just happening just behind, so it was crucial we made the move. And there's a car off on the right, and there's Valtteri Bottas out of the race, and we've got a second safety car. The second safety car of the race, only on lap 8. That is remarkable. I've never seen that before. 2 safety cars inside 8 laps, but either way, that's good for us. We made that critical pass on Ericsson just before the safety car, so we're going to be right on Perez as the restart gets underway. Not saying we're going to pass him, but it's crucial that we stay in the pack and run with the faster cars for as long as possible, and that's going to give us the best chance of getting a good result this race. Okay, we've got various cars coming into the pit lane here, so we might have a chance of jumping a lot of positions here. And look at the pit lane, it's absolutely flooded with cars, and we're going to get past every single last one of them up into P5, so that is very good for us. And those cars coming out of the pit lane now are going to rejoin in traffic behind us, so luckily for us, that is going to be very good for our position. So overall, I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully we can make something good come from this. Right, the restart is going to get underway very soon. Sainz is going to lead the way with Magnussen just behind, so Vettel, Perez and myself will all be probably coming through those guys with pretty good pace. The safety car is now in, so we're going to be going green here, back to normal racing speed. Here we go, restart now underway, and let's see what our pace is like now. And that safety car might have just opened up the possibility for us to go to the end of the race on these tyres. I say possibility because tyre wear is still pretty high, even on these tyres. And on the restart, look at that straight line speed difference. We're really dropping off here, and it just goes to show that we need to really invest in the engine so we can go into the next season. But either way, let's focus on the restart here and try and make this a bloody good race. Okay, we've got rich mix enabled and flowing now, and we're using it on the straights to really have some better pace. But Vettel already into the lead, and Perez taking second place, and those two are already doing their thing and setting the pace in their respective cars. But we're just looking to really play this, take it easy. We've got to play our cards right, and I don't want to take any unnecessary risks. We're comfortable where we are right now, and I'm not looking to win the race. I just want to finish better than P9, so I'm being realistic here. We can maybe get maybe a top 5 if everything works out, but to be honest with you, my main concern is we will only get a good result if we can make these tyres last a distance. So I've got to also try and drive as smoothly as possible, and when I make the moves, I've got to make them stick and try not to battle guys around me too much. So let's see how it all pans out. We are close to Magnussen here, and if I can just get some respectable traction, which I have done, the DRS is now enabled this lap, so maybe not into turn 1, but definitely on the back straight. I might be able to have a look at Kevin Magnussen here, but I'm feeling very I fancy my chances on the brakes. I feel pretty good on the brakes. I'm taking it easy right now, but I could definitely leave it a bit more late on the braking into the hairpins and heavy brake zones if I have to. So this lap we might try and maybe set up Sainz and Magnussen for a maybe cheeky double overtake, hopefully. Okay, we're pretty close this time, and we've got the rich mix on once again. Here we go, DRS now enabled. Magnussen will have DRS and the momentum on Carlos Sainz. Sainz is going to go defensive here, and Hulkenberg now has an issue with his car. We're going to go up the inside of the pair of them into the heavy brake zone after the long back straight, and we're up the inside, and we're up into P3. So now there's a good chance with Hulkenberg's issues and Sainz and Magnussen to really put some space between myself and the cars behind. Okay, so Magnussen and Sainz have actually pit. So has Sebastian Vettel, and now Raikkonen is on the hunt. Perez stays out in the lead of the race, but the question is, obviously strategy-wise, if Vettel's just come in, obviously his next stint is going to be until the end of the race, I'm going to presume. So let's see how this all pans out. This is going to be a very interesting race now, and if we can make our tyres go a distance, we can do anything this race. Another personal best. I mean, looking at my tyres realistically, I can't see myself being able to go the distance. I mean, I might be proved wrong. I'll see how the tyres are in a couple of laps. But to be honest with you, right now, I'm pretty much pushing on the limit of what the car can do. These tyres don't feel great. They just don't have that much actual performance in them. And now we're getting caught up by Hamilton on ultra soft, so we could be in trouble to take a big chunk out of that corner there with a corner cut. But I've got so much understeer through these high-speed corners sometimes, and I'm really like, don't feel like I'm on the pace. But you know, we are in the lead of the race somehow, so we've got to just sort of, you know, fight it out and try and drag it out. But Raikkonen is starting to really put the pressure on now, so we're going to have to be absolutely perfect out of every single traction zone and hope for the best. But Raikkonen definitely on the hunt here. We've had some pretty good traction out there, really sacrificing the actual corner itself for better exit speed, and I think we might be able to survive an attack from Raikkonen here on the brakes, I think. And yes, we are going to just about stay ahead, so we are going to remain in the lead for a little bit longer this lap. But Hamilton now really looking racy on those ultra softs. Okay, I managed to pretty much match my personal best. Hamilton has just come in. Sebastian Vettel sets the fastest lap after pitting on onto those fresh tyres, and Raikkonen still can't get past me in a straight line. The rich mix really helping me out here, and also I think Raikkonen might be running pretty high aero, but now it looks like Ocon and Sebastian Vettel are on the chase. But we're going to remain in the lead here and try and hold on to this. Okay, Raikkonen this time is pretty close. He's going to go for the move. I'm going to just, you know, sort of close the door on him a little bit and make him think twice about making the overtake, and we are going to stay ahead for a little bit longer here. But Raikkonen on the pace definitely, as I do a personal best middle sector, so I'm still pushing. I'm trying to find some pace here. We've got loads of rich mix to burn, and Sebastian Vettel now in P3 on the soft compound tyres, and I'm really struggling. We've got a yellow flag again here, and something's happened, and it's a virtual safety car, so someone's had a problem. And this might be a good chance for me to pit though. Do I pit? Now I've got a good chance. Should I? I think I'm going to go for the pit stop. I'm going to come in because I just feel like this is too good of a chance to pass up. So we're going to come in. Alonso out of the race. Let's get it all slowed down. There's a lot of space between these cars here and also obviously the next ones down the road. And if we are on super softs, then we can obviously push these tyres. So the virtual safety car has now ended, but we've essentially had a semi-free pit stop. So this is going to help us out strategy-wise, I think, and we might get the benefits of this, hopefully. We are going to be very close with those guys around us here, so we've got to be very good on the restart and get up to speed here. We're going to rejoin very close with Ericsson on the ultra softs and Ricciardo here on softs. We're going to really bomb it in late on the brakes into turn 1, and we are back on the track in P5 on fresh super softs with 10 laps to go. So basically now we're just going to go forward and try and solidify this 5th place, because if I can finish here, I'll be very, very happy. So let's try and get the hammer down and actually use these nice grippy tyres. I've only just realised someone's pit. I don't know who it was. I didn't really pay attention. I was just focused on pushing hard, and I actually just didn't realise. But I think I'm going to guess maybe Ocon, because I know he was in a bit of a different strategy. I know he's in the top 4, so it might have been him. Either way, Ricciardo here, very close to me in the Red Bull, and that's some really good straight line speed here from the Red Bull, and I'm actually quite impressed by that. Ricciardo going for the inside here. We're going to have to race him and look for the outside. Will Ricciardo leave the space? Yes, he does, but he's made the move work. I'm going to just go for the dive because I've got the grippy tyres, and we comfortably make it back up the inside. But Ricciardo there, incredible straight line speed, catching me by surprise, and that's going to invite whoever's catching up to really get in this battle. And it's Esteban Ocon, so it was Ocon who came in. So Ocon now getting in on this fight, and he's probably, I'm going to guess he's an ultra soft. So we've got to really try and get away from Ricciardo here and stop sleeping on the laurels and really try and pull away. We've got a car in the pit lane. It's Kimi Raikkonen, so could we get a podium here? It's going to be close. Raikkonen's going to rejoin right in the thick of this battle as we set a personal best. Raikkonen, let's see where he is. He's going to be up to speed now. There he is, exiting the pit lane on fresh super softs into turn 1. We're going to look for the outside line, locking up a little bit. We're going to get the power, and I think Raikkonen and Marv just managed to survive though and stay ahead of us. I don't think I'm going to be able to match him for pace unless I'm within the DRS now on the back straight. I think Raikkonen might just hold on to this podium as I lose the back end through the S's a little bit there. But yeah, I think Raikkonen's going to just about get that strategy absolutely nailed there. But still, we're in a battle for P4, and I'll absolutely take this by the end of the race. Okay, so we've run out of rich mix, but apparently Ocon has a time penalty. So we don't have to battle him too hard. Obviously, I don't let him overtake me easily and try and pull out the gap necessary for the penalty. But he's got some sort of time penalty. So let's just assume it's 3 seconds, which is what normally the lowest one is. So we can allow him to get 3 seconds ahead of us from now to the end of the race. So when he makes a move, we just got to basically follow him. Okay, Ocon is going to be pretty close here, so I'm going to have to go defensive and move over to the inside line. Here comes Esteban. He's going to opt for the outside. Does he have to grip? I'm going to brake as late as I can and take the normal racing line and force him to the outside and sort of shut the door on him. And there we go. We've stayed ahead of Ocon for now. Verstappen also not too far behind for company. Ricciardo back into this battle on the soft compound tyres. But with 1 lap to go pretty much, I feel pretty confident I can bring this one home. Even with Ocon's penalty, I think I can finish ahead of him here and try and bring this home for P4. But let's focus here and let's really get concentrated and knuckle down for this final lap. I've locked up into the hairpin, which isn't good. I've set myself on the back foot, but that is going to give me a bit of a better exit though, so it will allow me to get the traction down. And I've got it in rich mix already. I put it in rich just coming over the hill before the hairpin. So here we go into the brake zone. Ocon's going to look for it, but he's too far back, and we're just going to take the racing line, and we're going to hold on to this now. So let's just try and bring it home for one more sector here and not make any mistakes. So Sebastian Vettel wins the USA Grand Prix, and all we've got to do now is nurse the car home here. No mistakes, a little bit of a lock up there, but we're going to bring it down for the apex, no worries. Let's just try and slow this car in. Raikkonen sets a fast lap on the last lap of the Grand Prix, showing his pace, but his teammate is back in the title fight after that race win. But here we go through the penultimate corner, a little bit of understeer through their tyres that just aren't let go, but it's not going to matter too much as we go through the final corner. Critical, make no mistakes. There we go, get the traction on, and there we go, pull over to the left hand side, and we're going to come home for a brilliant, and I mean an absolutely brilliant 4th place. I did not expect that one bit, but after 2 safety cars and a virtual safety car, we've managed to prevail and get that result. Absolutely phenomenal. Really, really, really good race, and strategy was absolutely perfect. Even if I stayed on softs, I would have finished there anyway, because the top 3 were just too quick. They would have overtaken me anyway. So really good calls on the strategy, and really, just hit the nail on the head, and I'm very happy with that race, and a well-deserved 12 points for me there. But Vettel wins at USA, and that's going to mean a big swing in the Drivers' Championship, and I think Vettel and Raikkonen are going to be neck and neck going into the next race in Mexico. But let's move into the final race results, Drivers' and Constructors' standings. Okay, so looking at the final race results, Sebastian Vettel wins the USA Grand Prix ahead of Sergio Perez, with Raikkonen running at the podium. We bring it home in a brilliant P4 after starting from 9th place, and just ahead of Verstappen and Ricciardo, and obviously Ocon, who picked up a penalty, alongside Lewis Hamilton, who finished in 9th place. Both of the Haas cars in their home race, Magnussen and Grosjean both scoring points, and Massa down in P13 there, and eventually Van Dorn, Bottas and Alonso all DNFing from the race. But in terms of the driver standings, you can see that we remain in 3rd place, 32 points adrift of the Ferraris, and but speaking of the Ferraris, they're both split by only 4 points, so those guys are neck and neck, and officially both of the Pink Panthers are now ahead of both of the Silver Arrows, which is pretty remarkable in my opinion, and Massa holds on to 12th place. But in terms of the Constructors, you can see we are only 16 points behind Mercedes, so maybe there could be an upset on the cards. But we're now going to pretty much wrap out for this episode, guys, because obviously we're not doing R&D, so no point really showing you what's going on the laptop. I'll keep posting later on, maybe in a later episode, but for now we're going to call it a day there, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content. Also please be sure to check out these videos on screen right now if you have missed them by chance, and also please do check out GTM Megan, the links down below in the description. Use the code TOM97 for a 5% discount on any of your purchases. But other than that, guys, a massive thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.